This is Sitraka Rahari in transition. He turned 23 in January. He's a native of Madagascar, currently playing LNB B in France. He is one of 65 players in the world, non-NBA, non-G League, to be hitting at least 30% of at least 50 three-point attempts, while also posting at least 35 dunks on the year. Among those 65, it's Serge Ibaka, it's Rajon Tucker, it's Mario Hezonja, it's vets, it's EuroLeague dudes. It's also guys in C League China and B League Japan and B League Hungary. Rarely is it a 23-year-old who wants to come to America like he does. And he's got a lot of tools. The stuff he flashes is eye-catching, despite being raw at times. But being this raw after spending a few years at the French B League level is kind of concerning. You would be leaning into him as a change of scenery candidate and a toolsy long-term project. It just happens that the tools are awesome. Snatch his rebounds. This is probably 9'4", 9'6" standing reach. And he's about to show off a little move and some patience. That's an area that needs development. I think he's fully capable. And this is about to be awesome finishing extension. That's just not stuff that you see all the time. This, I think I pause it here. But he is just big. That's pretty graceful and fluid for his size. Envisioning a jump to the G League, I think that you would not see much off the dribble attacking like that. The jump in competition would be a lot, but once again, fluidity on display. It really just comes down to how scalable is the shot, because that's going to open his ability to punish closeouts, and he's not much of a facilitator, doesn't make secondary reads, but if he can spot up and be a super 3-and-D transition weapon, that has appeal. And his other touch indicators are good, but this is still a swing factor. And we're talking 6'10" here. He's inherently pretty disruptive, just a good defensive playmaker, which counteracts the fact that his rim protection is bad. He's a tweener of sorts. Like offensively a 5 and defensively a 4. He's slightly too skinny, not great at the positioning. So he might never blossom into a capable rim protector. But look at that face-up game. That's just like the type of appeal that oozes upside. And perhaps he will never be good enough at anything to be conducive to winning. But the resources he had in Madagascar and the pipeline in France, maybe those held him back to a certain extent. I think that there is enough natural athleticism and a great two-way motor for him to be pretty intriguing. This is the play type that is his floor. He's going to generate extra possessions. He's going to pound the offensive glass. He snares that rebound. So I think at minimum, this is what he brings to a G League team. Screening, could use a little work. This is just a beautiful bucket. Spin, rise, fire. Gets an and one here as well. Like, he has all the tools for this to be a part of his game a few years from now. Some good shuffling on the perimeter here, and we're probably talking a 7-foot wingspan. So once again, disruptive, and it helps counteract some of his technical shortcomings at the moment. This is a good example, just not a natural rim protector, not a natural shot alterer. That guy is able to finish over the top of him. There's skepticism on his defensive processing, but you can see that he's recognizing something here. And when he hits this shot, he turns around and it's like, yo. And then he's like, coach, yo. Something about this team, they are not on the same page defensively. And that's not an excuse for him to leave a pull-up shooter, but you can see that he is fluid enough to have shot contests, and he certainly has length to recover when people go by him. So I think that the defensive strength is an issue. That's a foul. So, like, he's raw defensively, but I think that he's better than this scheme makes him look. This is a bad defense. They're in the bottom 5 for the LNB French B League. And he's here in this play, but it's kind of no man's land. But once again, there's no low man in sight. It's not as if they would ever cover that and then rotate as a unit. Should get yammed on right here. Just no quick bounce. Great offensive rebound, and you want to see him dribble out of this. This is skill development that could happen, but he's about to commit a turnover. Ultimately, he failed to carve out a role with Chalon across 2 years in the French B League. This is his first campaign at the non-feeder team level, logging over 300 minutes. So it's tough to say he'd be conducive to winning in 2024-25. That being said, I'm still a huge fan of his archetype, so I think he's worth a Summer League shot at minimum.